Okay, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the latest in the series of webinars from the TUC, the Trades Union Congress, and the West Midlands Combined Authority, in conjunction with the Hong Konger community in Birmingham in the UK, and of course also in conjunction with the National Careers Service. Now, my name's Matt Pointon. If you've not seen me before, I work for the TUC and I help get people into learning opportunities in Birmingham. I work for the trade unions, and I would encourage everyone to join a trade union. But I'm not the only one here today. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, introduce some of the other people. The first one I'm going to introduce, we can't see. He's behind the scenes, but he is here. His name is Yusuf, and he's our tech guy, and he's the guy who's making all of this work. So if you're having a computer problem, put it in the chat, and Yusuf can try and sort out. Then,
sorry, Matt, sorry, just to say, give Kate a chance to translate all of that because you said quite a bit.
Okay, yeah, okay, and I'll go through the other three, and then and then we have Ray from National Career Service, who will introduce himself properly later. We have Ricky from the Hong Kongers, who will introduce himself properly later, and Kate Kwok, who is very kind of translating, and so I'll let you do your job.
好，唔該晒 Matt。咁其實咧就係簡單介紹下今晚呢個活動嘅。咁我哋今晚咧呢個活動咧係由好多個團體一齊去籌辦啦。咁我哋就有 TUC 啦，咁係一個英國嘅總工會嚟嘅。咁然之後我哋有喺West Midland 嘅Combined Authority 啦，即係呢個政府部門啦。我哋有呢個國家嘅職業嘅服務啦，咁等等嘅部門一齊去合辦嘅。咁喺香港人方面咧，咁阿 Rick 應間可能可以幫我哋講多少少啦。咁我哋其實咧就有幾個香港人嘅組織咧，都一齊去合辦今晚呢一個活動嘅。Over to you, Matt.
Thank you. Just before we get going, a couple of announcements. So we have coming up. We have another webinar planned about if you're interested in driving jobs. So this will be a webinar with Cantonese translation for the Hong Konger communities, and that is scheduled to take place on the 25th of April at this time.
好，下一個活動咧，咁做一啲少少預告先。咁就係咧，如果大家對呢一個嘅司機嘅職業有興趣嘅咧，咁係下一個嘅 webinar 咧就將會喺4月25號同一時間就會舉行嘅。咁如果大家有興趣嘅話咧，到時就記得參加啦。Over to you, Matt.
Thank you. And we have another event taking place on the 26th of April. This will be an event face-to-face. It's at the TUC's place on Summer Lane in Birmingham. And that is an event about the social care sector. So if the social care sector, working in care homes, if that is something that is of interest to you, we have that event. It's a daytime event, and get in touch with us and we can give you the details.
好，再有下一個活動咧，就係4月26號，咁就會喺一個實體嘅活動嚟嘅。咁線下活動啦，就將會喺呢一個TUC 即係總工會嘅伯明翰辦事處嗰度咧舉行嘅。咁係一個日頭嘅活動啦，咁就將會係關於social care worker 嘅。咁即係話咧，即係一啲照顧者啦，就例如喺一啲嗰啲療養院啊，或者一啲醫務嘅機構嗰度咧，係負責照顧有需要嘅人嘅。咁如果有興趣嘅朋友咧，就記得同我哋聯絡，咁我哋就會俾多啲資料你。OK。
Thank you. And then finally, we are planning a multicultural event again in person, and that will be on the 15th of July, along with different communities in Birmingham, the Somali community, the Pakistani community, the Black community. But that is still in the early stages of being planned. So we don't have more details yet, but put a mark in the diary for the 15th of July. It should be fun for all the family.
好，再下一個活動咧就係7月15號，咁就會喺有一個線下嘅實體見面活動啦，咁就係關於多元文化嘅，咁到時咧就會有索馬里啦、巴基斯坦啦、 有唔同嘅種族嘅群體都會出席嘅。咁到時就係一個家庭嘅活動啦。咁你都仲喺度諗緊一啲詳情情況。咁詳情咧就即係容後公佈啦，係大家繼續密切留意。
Okay, and now I'm going to hand over to Rick to introduce things from the Hong Konger perspective.
各位大家好啊，咁都好高興同大家見面啦。啱先我哋呢個節目咧，咁就由TUC 啦，同埋香港嘅唔同嘅一啲組織嘅舉辦。而今晚咧就係由我哋英倫故事同埋 TUC 去舉辦呢個教育助理呢個講座啦。遲下 TUC 咧都會同其他嘅地方組織去舉辦一啲系列嘅活動，所以大家留意啦。咁啱先啦，嗰個男仔 Matt 啦，就係 TUC 嘅一個工作嘅幹事。咁 TUC 係咩嚟嘅咧 ？TUC 就係一個英國嘅總工會。咁TUC 對外就唔會直接去招收啲會員嘅，但係佢會同其他嘅工會合作。咁嗰啲佢係轄下嘅工會咧，就會招收會員啦。如果大家要加入工會嘅話咧，咁就可以加入佢轄下嘅工會啦。咁 TUC 就係一個係協調英國所有工會一個組織，而阿 Matt 咧就係呢個工會入邊，即係個 TUC 呢個總工會入邊嘅一個個幹事啦。佢係同我哋好多個港人組織咧去搞好多個活動嘅。包括今晚呢個活動咧，就係教大家點樣係分享一啲資訊，有關於英國點樣做一個教育助理嘅。咁K 啦，左下角啦就係我哋今晚嘅義務嘅翻譯。咁我哋右上各位同事咧就係今晚嘅講者。咁希望今晚個節目大家都可以攞到啲嘢翻去啦。
Okay, and right before we begin, what I do want to do is any questions you might have, if you look at the bottom of the screen, there is something that says ask a question. If you have any questions for Ray, type your question in there in English or Cantonese and Ray can answer it. But because this is crowdcast and not Zoom or Teams, what you can't do is we can't hear anything you say. So you have to type the question in there. We can't hear you.
好，簡單翻譯咧就係如果大家有問題，可以喺你會見到下面嗰一欄嗰度叫 ask a question 嘅。咁你就需要喺嗰度打出嚟啦，因為咧用 Crowdcast 係唔似 Zoom 嗰啲咧，大家就唔可以講中文啦。咁所以咧就麻煩各位，如果有問題想問咧，就可以打喺 Ask a Question 嗰度，可以中文、英文都得嘅。
Okay, and now we are ready to begin. We have, as always, the man with all the information from the National Career Series. His name is Ray Le Tarouilly. And Ray, welcome again. Thanks for coming on board again. And tell us all about becoming a teaching assistant.
Right. Thank you very much, Matt. Thank you. And good evening, everybody. Thank you for the invitation. It's great to talk with you again. So I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, so just make sure this works. And if I just check that you can see what I'm putting up on my screen. So can you see a slide which says becoming a teaching assistant? Is that?
大家睇唔睇到呢個 slide 上面嘅內容咧？
Yeah. Is that visible? I just want to be sure before I go too far. Can people see that? Okay.
Yes, we can, Ray.
You can. Brilliant. Okay. Thank you. So yes, my name is Ray Le Tarouilly. I'm a careers advisor. I've been a careers advisor now for over 30 years, and I enjoy my job. And I have worked in schools a lot as well. So I've met a lot of teaching assistants in my working life. Okay, Kate.
好，咁Ray 咧就係而家就係喺呢一個國家嘅職業服務嗰度係工作啦。咁其實咧佢已經係從事咗呢一個行業超過30年噶啦。咁然之後佢就之前其實都有好多經驗咧喺學校入邊工作啦。咁所以咧就都係見過好多教育助理嘅工作嘅範圍嘅。Thank you.
That's fine. So teaching assistants are also known as TAs for short, and they provide support to pupils and students and also teachers. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah. They work in different places. So they work in places like primary schools with very young children, secondary schools with people aged 11 to 16, They also work in special schools where perhaps children have learning difficulties, but they even work in colleges and even universities as well. Okay, Kate.
係啦，咁啊簡單介紹下 TA 嘅工作啦。咁其實教育助理呢一個職業咧，就主要其實即係人如其名啦，就係為學生同埋老師提供一啲協助啦。咁其實咧係唔同嘅階級嘅呢一個學校咧，其實都係需要教育助理嘅，由幼稚園去到大學甚至特殊學校咧都係需要嘅。
Okay.
Over to you, Ray.
Okay, thank you. So, for example, a friend of mine worked in a university as a scribe for a student with severe dyslexia. Okay, Kate.
係咁樣咧，其實就話阿 Ray 咧，佢有一位朋友咧就喺大學嗰度工作嘅。咁其實咧就係要幫助一啲學生咧，應該係 dyslexia 呢個我都要查一查字典先，係啦。咁但係據我嘅理解，可能係咪一啲失語症啊？呢個我轉頭話俾大家知啊。
Thank you. And jobs range from those where few formal qualifications will be needed, and others where you would need more specialist training.
係啦，咁啊，其實個職位咧就有唔同嘅嗰個資格嘅要求啦。有啲咧可能係好需要啲好簡單嘅資歷就 OK 啦。咁不過有部分嘅職位咧，可能係需要一啲特別嘅即係嘅訓練咁樣嘅。
Okay, so here are just a few images of people who are teaching assistants. So in this one, you see you've got a teaching assistant who's working with a small group of young learners in primary school.
大家見到呢度有幅圖啦，就係話有啲小學生同埋一啲係啦，一啲好細嘅小朋友咧，咁係喺學校入邊嘅環境啦。
Okay. Some teaching assistants will support an individual pupil, perhaps with particular learning support needs.
你係見到咧喺呢幅圖入邊咧，就係一啲特殊需要嘅學校，咁啊係要特別去照顧一啲小朋友咁樣嘅。
Although many teaching assistants are female, males do this sort of work as well.
雖然大部分嘅 TA 係女士咧，但係都有男士做嘅。
Teaching assistants can be known by other job titles as well. So, for example, a classroom assistant is someone who provides general support in the classroom. They're more commonly found in primary schools. Okay, Kate.
係啦，咁啊其實 TA 有好多唔同嘅名嘅，有時咧就會叫做一個課室嘅助理啦。咁多數課室助理咧就係喺小學比較多出現嘅。
Sometimes teaching assistants are known as a learning support assistant. They tend to work more with individual pupils or students, or perhaps with small groups.
係啦，咁啊另外一種咧就叫學習助理啦。咁多數咧都係可能單對一啲學生，又或者係一啲小組教學咁樣嘅。
Okay. And then some people are known as a cover supervisor, and they are people who fill in for teachers who are on short-term absences. So they will supervise work that the pupils do. They'll manage behaviour in the classroom. They'll answer pupils' questions, and they report back to teaching staff.
係啦，咁呢一個cover supervisor 咧就更加比較似一個代課嘅職責啦。咁佢哋可能咧就會喺課堂裡面咧要管理佢哋嘅秩序啊，要答啲問題啊，同埋要看住啲學生啊，咁然之後再咧去 report 翻俾啲其他同事知道啦。
Thank you. Teaching assistants usually work with a particular age group of pupils or students. Right, so they might work with young children in primary schools, or they may work with older pupils in secondary schools, or college or even university students. 係啦，咁啊，可能唔同嘅 TA 咧就會即係會對唔同年齡層嘅小朋友啦，咁所以其實個範圍都好廣闊嘅。 Their duties vary, but the sort of things they often do is They help to plan learning activities and prepare resources.
Sorry, carry on.
They also will prepare the classroom for lessons and tidy up and clear away afterwards. They support with learning, so they help pupils that are struggling with their learning. They will listen to pupils read. They'll also help them with their number work and other activities. They keep records of pupils' and students' progress. They also display work that the pupils have done or students have done in the classroom, and they also display information in the classroom. They also help children prepare for physical education lessons, and they may help pupils with issues around health and hygiene as well. And they very often will help on school outings or possibly activities outside of the classroom, like sports events or drama clubs, things like that.
好，咁都非常之清楚噶啦，係啦，咁啊簡單解釋下啦，咁其實就係TA 嘅工作啦，咁其實整體嚟講其實都係大同小異嘅，咁啊包括係計劃課堂活動啦，準備上堂啦，執下執嘢啦，清潔啦，咁然之後咧就幫助啲小朋友學習啦，要將佢哋嘅進度去 keep record 啦，即係去保持記錄啦，幫助小朋友咧去參加呢一個體育堂啦，然之後咧就係有時佢哋啲健康啊或者衞生嘅活動都要幫手嘅，又或者當佢哋有時咧要出去一啲戶外活動嘅時候咧，都係需要幫忙嘅。
Thank you. All right. Some teaching assistants will specialise, perhaps helping pupils or students whose first language isn't English, or they may work with learners with special educational needs and disabilities, often known as SEND. Okay.
係啦，咁啊 TA 咧如果有一啲特別嘅崗位咧，例如如果要幫一啲英語係非母語嘅小朋友啦，又或者咧如果佢要幫助一啲有特殊學習需要嘅，我哋平時叫做 SEND 嘅小朋友嘅話咧，咁都需要一啲特殊訓練嘅。
That's great. Sometimes a teaching assistant is recruited to support a specific pupil or student. If a pupil or a student has mobility issues, the teaching assistant will help them move around the school or college, for example. Some teaching assistants help learners with behavioural problems and difficulties, and they help them to achieve their full potential.
咁有啲咧TA 咧就會幫助一啲，譬如話係行動方面嘅，咁佢哋需要幫助嘅時候，或者佢哋要攞一啲學習嘅用具，佢哋會幫忙啦。甚至有啲小朋友咧係可能係行為上邊咧，其實係有一啲困難嘅，或者可能係有一啲特別嘅需要嘅時候咧，咁佢哋亦都係要幫助佢哋係喺學習啊等等嘅生活方面嘅。
Great, thank you. And some teaching assistants are employed by a school or a college or an academy trust. Academy trusts are where you have a group of schools that work together, and they very often share teachers and teaching assistants. Some teaching assistants who support children with learning difficulties may be employed by a local authority, a local council, local education authority, in fact. Okay, Kate.
係啦，咁TA 咧就其實有好多唔同嘅僱主啦，有時學校啊、大學啊，佢哋會自己請啦。有時咧就有一啲呢度叫做叫教育信託會啦，即係可能咧係一個信託咧就會管住一堆學校嘅，咁佢哋就會分享嗰個教師嘅資源啦。咁有時咧，如果係有啲特殊需要嘅學生嘅話咧，咁就會係由呢一個嘅本地嘅教育部門啦，即係政府咧去聘請嘅。
There are now what are called higher level teaching assistants. They're known as HLTAs. These are more highly qualified staff, and there is a foundation degree qualification for people that want to be a higher level teaching assistant. Okay, Kate.
係啦，咁佢有一個新嘅職位咧，就叫做高級教育助理啦。咁呢個咧，教育助理就需要一啲更多嘅資歷啦。咁佢而家咧其實都係有一啲嘅基礎文憑咧，係俾大家去讀完之後咧就可以做呢一個高級教育助理嘅。
Okay, So a teaching assistant with experience may be able to go on to get higher level teaching assistant status. As I say, they take a foundation degree and they take on more complex and more responsible work. So, for example, they will help to plan and deliver lessons. They will deliver learning activities to individual pupils or students or small groups. Okay. They may cover for planned or unplanned teacher absences. Okay. And they also assess, record, and report on pupil or student progress. Okay, thanks, Kate.
係啦，咁啊，呢啲高級嘅教育助理咧，佢哋嘅工作有啲咩咁特別咧？就係話佢哋就會係更加即係做一啲更加難嘅工作啦。咁佢哋咧，例如會喺一個老師嘅指導之下咧，佢哋會幫助去策劃，甚至有時咧係要自己去教嗰一個課堂嘅。咁有時咧就要親自去進行一啲教育嘅活動啦，可能一啲小組教育啦，同埋咧當老師可能有啲請假或者有啲突然間需要缺席嘅情況咧，佢哋就需要代課啦，同埋咧佢哋亦都係咧要進行一個評估啦，同埋要直情係去匯報呢個學生嘅進度咁樣。
And higher level teaching assistants tend to earn more money, and in a little while we'll have a look at the pay scales for people who are working as teaching assistants.
好，咁多數咧高級教育助理就會賺多啲錢啦。咁我哋轉頭咧就會睇下咧嗰個薪金嘅詳情嘅。
Okay. All right. And they sometimes supervise other teaching assistants as well, so they have some supervisory responsibilities.
咁高級教育助理咧都需要咧，佢可能有需要管理啦一啲教育助理嘅，咁所以變咗佢就有少少管理嘅角色啦。
Okay. So the pay that teaching assistants earn is determined by individual employers, schools, colleges, or local education authorities. So salaries and promotion prospects do vary. Those who have got specialist skills are generally paid at higher rates. Okay, Kate.
係啦，咁啊就講起咧呢一個嘅薪金嗰度啦，咁其實薪金咧就係好視乎個別嘅僱主啦，又或者睇下係政府去請大家嘅，咁所以咧變咗嗰個升職嘅前景啊等等嘢咧都有機會有幾大分別嘅，係啦。咁不過咧當然如果你係有一啲特殊嘅經驗嘅話咧，咁你就多數都會有高啲人工嘅。
Okay, thank you. So as a guide, most full-time teaching assistants earn between £16,000 and £25,000 per year. Higher level teaching assistants can be paid up to £29,000 a year. But some teaching assistants will work part-time, or they might only work during term times, so their pay would reflect the time that they're actually working, so they would probably earn a bit less.
係啦，咁啊人工方面咧，如果係一個全職嘅教育助理咧，就大概係16,000至到25,000磅一年啦。如果係一啲高級教育助理咧，就多數可以去到29,000磅嘅。咁如果你係做一啲半職啦，又或者咧係淨係學期嘅時候先要返工嘅職位嘅話咧，咁就會按比例咁樣咧，可能會有少少減少啦，即係個人工啊。
Okay. All right. So certain parts of the country, particularly in London, teaching assistants and higher level of teaching assistants can earn more. Okay. Some experienced teaching assistants work on a supply basis, which means that they are called upon to go into schools and colleges when help is needed, and they are usually paid at a daily or an hourly rate of pay.
係啦，咁啊 TA 咧，其實個人工咧全國都有啲唔同嘅，咁啊倫敦咧就普遍會高少少啦。咁如果咧係一啲有經驗嘅TA 咧，其實佢哋好多時咧都係係睇下邊度有需要咧，就去嗰度幫手嘅。咁所以變咗咧，佢哋就好多時係斷鐘頭或者斷日去出糧嘅。
Okay. And if a teaching assistant has got the right qualifications, they sometimes could go on to train to be a full-blown teacher and get qualified teacher status.
有經驗嘅 TA 咧，好多時咧，可以咧進一步咧係受訓啦，可以成為一個全職嘅老師嘅，係啦。
Okay. So to be a teaching assistant, you need to have certain personal qualities. So they need to be non-judgmental and good at building positive relationships with pupils, students, and of course parents and teachers and other school staff. Okay, Kate.
好，咁啊 TA 咧，其實都有一啲性格上嘅需要嘅。咁如果想成為一個 TA 嘅話咧，希望即係大家嘅性格咧都最好咧係唔好咁 non-judgmental，唔好咁挑剔，係啦。又或者咧係冇偏見嘅對人，係啦，同埋咧都善於咧係去建立一啲咧正面嘅關係，即係同呢一個嘅學生啦，有啲正面嘅可以有啲人際關係咁樣咯。
Okay. They need to have excellent team working skills because they work in a team with other teaching assistants. They also work with teachers, other professionals as well.
係啦，咁啊需要有良好嘅團隊工作嘅技巧啦，因為佢哋咧經常咧都要同其他嘅除咗老師之外咧，都可能喺學校入邊咧有其他嘅專業人士啦，同埋其他嘅支援嘅人員嘅。
Okay. They also need to understand how children develop, think, and learn.
係啦，佢哋要明白到小朋友係點樣去發展啦，佢哋點諗嘢啦，同埋點學習嘅。
And they also need to have a good standard of literacy, so written and spoken English, number skills, and computer skills.
係啦，咁啊都希望會可以有一個好嘅英文嘅能力啦，無論係口語同埋去即係講或者寫咧都係啦。咁啊數字能力同埋電腦技巧啦。
Okay. They also need to be able to take control of groups of pupils or students when necessary.
係啦，要能夠控制一班小朋友、一班學生啦，喺有需要嘅時候都要係啦發揮呢個功用嘅。
Okay. Also be good at organising things.
係啦，咁啊有良好嘅組織能力啦。
And lots of patience too. Children sometimes can be naughty, so they need to be patient, but also firm when they're needed to be.
係啦，要有耐性啦，但係亦都係需要有原則啦。咁係啦，因為對小朋友嘅時候咧，尤其是有啲曳嘅小朋友咧，咁就好需要恩威並施啦。
Okay, let's get rid of that. Sorry. Yeah. Also, if you are going to work with children and young people, and that's children up to the age of 18, because you're working with vulnerable people, you have to have something called an enhanced disclosure and barring service check.
係啦，因為咧大家係同18歲以下嘅佢哋呢啲叫弱勢人士係去工作啦，咁所以咧大家係需要咧進行一個特別嘅背景審查嘅。
Okay. And that also includes volunteering as well.
係啦，就算你係義務工作咧，你都需要做呢一個背景審查嘅。
Okay. So the qualification requirements can vary, but schools and local education authorities often ask for GCSEs, including English and maths, or equivalent qualifications, such as functional skills, English and maths qualifications. Okay, Kate.
係啦，咁啊雖然咧冇一個好特定咧嘅入職要求嘅，但係咧好多學校啊同埋一啲本地嘅政府機構咧，佢都會要求咧係睇到部分譬如 GCSE， 即係如果咁計就可能我哋以前香港嘅會考啊咁樣啦，咁就包括你英文同埋數學相關嘅能力嘅證明嘅。
And these qualifications, GCSEs and functional skills, are widely available in colleges and with training organisations.
係啦，咁如果大家想要得到呢一個資格咧，其實都可以咧去一啲本地嘅機構嗰度咧透過一啲培訓啦，都可以攞到咧相關嘅資格嘅。
Okay. So Qualifications I'm going to show you in a moment. Qualifications in things like childcare and education or play work can help you to get a first job.
係啦，咁佢一陣間咧就會話俾大家知有啲咩資歷咧係可以幫助大家，例如係有關於教育啦、照顧小朋友啦、甚至係遊戲學習啦，都可以幫你揾到第一份工嘅。
And for jobs such as a cover supervisor, employers may prefer to recruit graduates. That means someone with a degree or people that have got particular experience or qualifications with children and young people.
係啦，咁頭先講過咧個代課嘅助理啦，咁代課嘅呢一個嘅職位咧，咁其實好多時咧都係會僱主比較中意請一啲大學畢業生啦，又或者咧係你有一啲特別嘅經驗同埋資歷嘅。
Okay. Yes.
Ray. Yeah. Can you say a word here about, because I think it might be interesting to a lot of people online, about if they have Hong Kong qualifications or other international qualifications? I know there used to be a database called NARIC that you could translate them, and I think it's called ENIC now. Could you explain to people how they might access that? Because I think a lot of people will have relevant qualifications but won't know what they're worth in the UK.
Yes, that's right. Yes, it used to be called UK NARIC. It's now, the site is referred to as ECTIS, but it's basically, it's an organisation that will assess qualifications from overseas and how they stand in comparison to those of the UK. Is that okay, Kate? 係啦，
咁啊，其實咧頭先阿 Matt 咧就問咗個問題，就話其實可能我哋由香港嚟咧，都好想知道我哋喺香港揸住嘅學歷其實相等於英國嘅乜嘢咧？會有咩認證咧？咁其實頭先咧阿 Ray 就講到咧話，其實而家有個組織就叫 Actus， 咁我諗呢間佢哋可以再即係打喺個 chat 嗰度，等大家都可以有條 link 啦咁樣。咁透過呢個組織，佢就會做一啲國際嘅資歷嘅認證，就可以將佢翻譯成為英國相關相同等程度嘅一啲資歷嘅資格咁樣嘅，係啦。咁一陣間我哋就會提供翻呢個 link 俾大家。
Okay, I can email out a link to their site to help you find out more.
係啦，咁佢就會有電郵 send 翻出嚟俾大家嘅。
Okay, and to use the service, you need to provide evidence of your qualifications from overseas, like certificates, because they need to see that before they can advise you on how your qualifications stand compared to those in the UK.
係啦，咁大家就要提供翻你嘅之前嘅證書啦，咁就等嗰個 Actus 嘅機構咧就可以做嗰個認證咁樣啦。
Okay. There are introductory courses available in colleges and other places, such as a level 1 award in preparing to work in schools or a level 2 award in support work in schools. There are also level 3 qualifications and higher for teaching assistants as well.
係啦，咁佢就話咧喺呢一個嘅培訓作為一個教育助理咧，咁都有3個 level 嘅。咁第一層咧就係準備大家去喺學校工作啦。咁第二個階級咧，即係就係關於點樣喺學校咧去支援個工作嘅。咁第3級咧就係一啲比較真係高級啲、比較盡心嘅教育助理嘅培訓啦。咁啊，所以咧大家都可以去考慮去做呢啲培訓啦。
Okay, sorry, there's a typing mistake in there. Sorry about this. These sorts of courses can be done part-time at some colleges of further education. Birmingham Metropolitan College, for example, offers these sorts of courses.
係啦，咁呢啲堂咧你都可以 part time 上嘅。咁啊，頭先佢講啦，伯明翰都會大學係啦，咁都有呢一啲嘅課程俾大家嘅。
Okay, but we do have another speaker with us called Jeff, who will tell us about courses run at Birmingham City University. I hope I've got that right.
係啦，咁我哋有另外一位講者轉頭會出場嘅就係阿 Jeff 啦，咁佢就會話俾大家知咧，喺伯明翰城市大學嗰度咧，而家其實係有啲乜嘢嘅課程咧係可以俾大家去上嘅。
Okay. Sometimes, if you are employed as a classroom assistant or teaching assistant, your school or college may support you to gain these qualifications as part of your training?
咁喺有啲例子咧，其實咧，你嘅僱主咧都會喺你嘅入職嘅培訓嗰陣時咧，係為你提供呢一啲嘅課程，咁係即係俾你去上嘅，咁所以變咗就係作為你嘅入職嘅培訓一部分啦。
Okay. And once you are employed by a school or a local authority or a college, you'll get ongoing training and support to develop your skills, such as how to work with pupils and students with particular learning difficulties or disabilities. That can also include working with pupils and students who are neurodiverse, with autism, for example.
係啦，咁佢就話咧，當你入職之後咧，咁其實你嘅入職嘅培訓咧，即係個學校方面啊，或者僱主咧都會提供一啲訓練啦，尤其是係一啲同特殊需要啊、自閉症啊，或者頭先嗰個讀寫障礙啊，dyslexia 咁樣呢一啲嘅培訓都有會提供嘅。
Okay. So, as I said, there are level 2, level 3 qualifications. They're called supporting teaching and learning. There are also, there's level 3 diploma in specialist support for teaching and learning in schools. Okay. Yeah, sorry, Kate. Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
No, that's okay. Please carry on. That's all right.
好，我好快講啊。咁樣就係第2同第3級嘅資歷咧，就係去即係頭先講過啦，就可以繼續去支援呢一個學習同埋教育啦。咁第3級嘅嗰個嘅文憑咧，就係有關於一啲特殊嘅支援嘅，係啦，都係為咗嗰啲有特殊需要嘅學生去服務啦。
Okay. And it's possible to progress to a higher qualification. There is now a qualification called a level 4 diploma in supporting teaching and learning. There's also a level 4 certificate for higher level teaching assistants, or a level 4 certificate for advanced practitioners in schools and colleges. Okay.
係啦，咁第4級嘅文憑咧，咁就係俾一啲高級嘅教育助理啦。咁其實佢都有幾個名嘅，咁變咗就係即係大家可以繼續盡心去進修啦。
Okay. All right. So qualifications for teaching assistants are offered by a range of awarding bodies, such as there's one called the NCFE, the National Council for Further Education. All right, and that link there tells you about those qualifications.
係啦，咁TA 呢啲資歷咧，其實都有好多唔同嘅機構咧會去負責發出嘅。咁其中一個咧就係下面呢個啦 ，NCFE 啦。咁然之後咧都提供一條 link 俾大家可以去繼續睇啦。
Okay, CASE qualifications have been around a long time. It stands for the Council for Awards in Child Health and Education, and they are very well respected qualifications working with children.
係啦，咁又講起有另外一個機構啦，就係一個 Council for 兒童嘅教育咁樣嘅，係一個好有即係好有歷史同埋好備受推崇嘅一個 program 嚟嘅。咁大家咧都可以再睇下。咁應該可能可以問一問佢條 link，因為可能而家咁啱遮住咗，睇唔係好清楚。
There are also lots of free distance learning courses where you can learn from home about subjects that are useful to know about working with children and young people. So there are courses in things like autism awareness, understanding children's and young people's mental health, awareness of bullying in children and young people, understanding specific learning difficulties, allergy awareness, safeguarding. So you need to check your local college website for details of courses like these. These courses are usually free to people who are aged 19 or older.
係啦，咁佢就講到咧，有唔少嘅呢啲嘅教育組織咧，都會提供一啲免費嘅遙距課程嘅。咁包括有唔同嘅題目啦，自閉症 自閉症，認識自閉症啦。第二個就係理解下兒童嘅心理嘅健康啦。咁啊，然之後講下欺凌問題啦，特殊嘅學習需要，同埋有啲對一啲敏感症狀嘅認識啦，同埋咧去照顧保護兒童嘅。咁啊，大家就可以咧去下你哋本地嘅一啲教育機構嗰個網站嗰度睇睇啦。
A while ago, I did a course like this, understanding young people's mental health. Very useful course. It helped me understand how different mental health conditions can manifest themselves and how to help and support people appropriately with different mental health conditions. Okay, Kate.
咁啊 Ray 咧就之前咧就參加咗嗰個了解兒童同埋年輕人嘅心理健康嘅講座啦。咁佢就話都非常之有用嘅。咁佢就知多咗好多有關於呢啲心理健康嘅一啲狀況啦，同埋咧點樣可以適切咁樣咧去幫助有需要嘅年輕人嘅。
Thank you. Okay. There are university level courses as well. So, for example, there are foundation degree and degree courses in subjects like learning support, teaching and learning support, or supporting teaching and learning, or similar titles.
係啦，咁啊，亦都有一啲咧基礎嘅大學學位嘅課程啦，大家就可以上去 UCAS 嗰個網嗰度睇嘅。咁基本上都係叫嗰啲好類似嘅名啊，就係即係點樣教育支援、學習支援咁樣，支援學習、支援教育咁樣。
And these sorts of qualifications would be very useful if you wanted to become a higher level teaching assistant.
係啦，咁如果你想成為一個高級教育助理嘅話咧，呢一啲課程就非常之有用啦。
Okay. And these sorts of courses can be done full-time or part-time when you're employed as a teaching assistant or even working as a volunteer.
係啦，咁啊，其實咧，呢一啲嘅課程咧，咁都可以係你全職全時間去讀啦，又或者咧係你一路做 TA 嗰陣時咧，一路去 part time 讀都得嘅。
Okay. There are now as well apprenticeships for teaching assistants, and this is where you are paid a wage, but you're also funded to take teaching assistant level 3 qualifications.
係啦，咁啊，而家其實咧喺教育助理呢個行頭咧都有學徒制度嘅，咁就會係一路你喺受聘嘅過程咧，佢都有一個好有架構嘅學習嘅培訓俾你啦。咁而家喺英國咧，咁都有機會咧喺學徒制度之下，你可以去到第3級嘅教育助理嘅。
And apprenticeships now are open to all ages. They're not just for school leavers.
係啦，咁啊，其實基本上咧就學徒制度就咩年紀都可以參加噶啦，就唔係淨係剛剛畢業嘅人先可以做嘅。
And that website is where you can find out more about apprenticeships.
係啦，咁如果想知道學徒制度嘅嘢咧，就可以上呢個網頁啦。
Okay. So to gain higher level teaching assistant status, the teaching assistant has to have the support of their school and head teacher. They need to hold at least level 2 qualifications in English and maths. That can mean GCSEs or functional skills, level 2. They undertake a 3-day preparatory course, although there are other routes like online courses or preparatory programs. And they have a half-day assessment at their school when they have to demonstrate how they meet the required professional standards.
係啦，咁啊，要成為一個高級教育助理咧，你係需要首先咧就得到所在學校嘅老師同埋校長嘅支持啦。第二咧就最少咧要有第2級認證嘅英文同埋數學資格啦。咁就可以係一啲 GCSE 嘅成績，又或者係一啲頭先佢話 functional skills 啊，即係一啲可能實際嘅功能嘅一啲嘅認證嘅途徑啦。咁第3咧就係要參加一個3日嘅預備課程嘅，咁都有一個代替咧，就你可以上一啲網上嘅課程咧都得嘅。咁最後咧就係要經歷一個半日嘅評估啦，喺學校嗰度咧去展示自己咧係能夠去滿足一啲專業嘅資格嘅要求嘅。
Okay, and that link will tell you more about the higher level teaching assistant standards and assessment.
係啦，咁有條 link 咧，就大家可以睇到更加多有關於呢一個嘅評估嘅要求嘅。
Okay. So finding a job, teaching assistants often work part-time or term time only. So this can fit well if you have got children to look after, for example, because you'll probably have the same holidays as they do.
係啦，好多嘅 TA 咧，其實都係半職，又或者淨係喺返學嘅時間咧，先至需要去做嘅啫。咁就好適合咧要照顧家庭嘅朋友啦。
Okay. Some jobs are offered on a fixed term basis, especially where they're employed to support a specific pupil or a specific student.
係啦，咁有一啲嘅崗位咧，其實佢都係用一個定期嘅條件去僱用你嘅，咁所以咧，尤其是係如果你係要去支援一啲特定嘅學生群體咁樣啦。
Okay, so competition for jobs can be quite intense. It's useful to get experience if you can. A good way to start is doing some volunteering in a school.
係啦，咁佢就話咧，其實呢個市場咧可能競爭都幾激烈嘅，所以咧有越多嘅相關經驗咧，對你嚟講越有利啦。咁因此咧，其實你都可以嘗試下喺開頭嘅時候咧，進行一啲義務嘅工作啦，即係做下義工啦。
And some people will first start a job as a lunchtime supervisor in a school and then get the opportunity to become a teaching assistant.
一開始嘅時候咧，有啲人咧都係會選擇咧喺學校入邊咧做嗰啲午餐嘅助理或者午餐嘅管理人啦，咁慢慢咧就可以做下就做咗一個 TA 啦。
And vacancies for teaching assistants can be advertised in local newspapers, school and college websites, and there are some vacancy websites such as lgjobs.com or the tes.co.uk. And it's also can be worth approaching a school or college directly to find out if there are any opportunities.
係啦，咁揾工方面咧，咁除咗本地報紙啦，上學校嘅網頁啦，又或者透過求職網站啦，例如佢介紹咗兩個啦，咁亦都可以嘗試咧直接去聯絡你有興趣係工作嘅學校，就睇下咧有冇空缺咁樣嘅。
Okay. So these are just some useful websites that you can use to help you find out more about being a teaching assistant. I will email these slides out to you as well so that you can look at these again.
好，係啦，咁有一個網站啦，咁其實咧頭先阿 Ray 就講咧，呢一個 PowerPoint 係會俾大家嘅，咁所以咧嗰啲 link 咧抄唔切或者睇唔切嘅話咧，其實唔使擔心。
Okay. There's a very good site called Skills for Schools. This was developed by the trade union Unison, and it's an online guide to careers and training and development for support staff that work in schools and colleges, and it includes descriptions of teaching and learning support roles.
係啦，咁有一個好好嘅網站啦，就係 Skills for School 咧，就係由一個工會咧叫 Unison 咧，佢去到準備嘅。咁入邊咧就好詳盡嘅資料咧，可以俾大家睇有關於咧 TA 呢個工作啦。
Okay. And just a few more. That link is on our website, the National Careers Service website. It gives you a job profile of a teaching assistant.
係啦，咁呢個網站咧就係佢哋全國嗰個求職服務嘅官方網站啦。咁入邊咧亦都係有好多有關於 TA 嘅要求啊等等嘅資料嘅。
And the next link tells you about other non-teaching jobs in schools. So jobs like lunchtime supervisors, school receptionists, admin staff, and so on.
嗱，咁第二條 link 咧就係話有一啲同教育無關嘅學校入邊嘅工作啦，包括係接待處嘅職員啊，做行政嘅人員啊，甚至係頭先講嘅午餐嘅時候嘅管理人啊等等咧，都係可以揾到嘅。
Okay. So if you would like some one-to-one help from the National Career Service, you can contact that telephone number and we can access interpreter services.
係啦，咁啊，如果有興趣咧，打電話可以有單對單嘅呢個諮詢服務嘅話咧，就可以打以下呢個即係喺PowerPoint 入邊呢個電話啦。咁佢哋亦都係可以提供一個即時翻譯嘅服務嘅。
Okay, and if you call that number, you can arrange either to have a face-to-face meeting with an advisor in a job centre or a telephone appointment, if that is better for you.
係啦，咁啊，如果你打去嘅話咧，嗰個單對單嘅諮詢服務咧，就可以係真人面對面進行啦，又或者咧係透過電話進行嘅。
Okay. Also, if you go on social media, we advertise lots of job vacancies, learning opportunities, job fairs, and other events to help people.
係啦，咁啊，或者佢哋嘅社交平台啦、Twitter 啦、Facebook、Instagram 咧，其實佢哋都會放好多工作嘅資料啊，又或者有一啲就職博覽嘅資料啊，佢都會擺晒上去嘅。
Okay. All right. So that's concluded the information that I was going to cover, and thank you very much for listening to me. So I'm very happy to take questions now, if that's okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ray. Do you want to translate that first, Kate?
係其實而家咧就係可以係提問環節啦。有咩問題咧係要問阿 Ray 嘅話，就歡迎喺呢一度提出啦。
Okay.
咁我見到咧喺嗰個
No problem.
Sorry,
you
Matt.
go first, Ricky.
Okay. Because I see a question from the common area. That's that the English of Hong Kong people are quite formal. How can we learn daily English and communicate with our students better? Yes, Polly, 你而家喺香港定喺英國㗎？ That means I mean that some people who is still living in Hong Kong, but they may move to the UK in the future. But however, they want to learn some English in Hong Kong to prepare for the teaching assistant work. So how can they do it?
Yes, there are what are called ESOL courses, English for speakers of other languages, which are widely available. So that can be a good start.
係啦，咁啊頭先阿 Ray 就講到咧，就可以係一開始嘅時候咧，就可以去參加 ESOL 嘅 course 啦。咁 ESOL 咧就 ESOL 啊，應該係啦。咁啊就係咧，大家即係好多過出嚟嘅香港人咧，都應該有聽過㗎啦。咁啊嗰度有好多唔同嘅深淺程度嘅英文堂咧，係可以俾大家去上嘅。咁可以去喺嗰度可以開始啦。
Okay. Yeah.
但係I have some supplement. But ESOL 呢樣嘢咧，你過到嚟英國你先可以上嘅，喺香港就冇得搖佢咁去上嘅。
好，多謝你補充。
Can I say something about this as well, Ricky? In that, because I used to be an ESOL teacher. So if you're still in Hong Kong and you want to improve your English, there are various ways in which you can do it. I think it depends about the level that your English is at now. If you're an absolute beginner, then yes, something like TEFL in Hong Kong or ESOL in English is good. But if you are at a level where you know the grammar, you can speak, but you're not certain, then even things like watching films is really helpful, and engaging, if you're a gamer, talking to people through gaming, that kind of stuff, it can be very useful. Kate?
Yeah.
Hey, sorry. 頭先阿 Matt 咧就話其實ESOL 啊或者呢一啲 course 咧，頭先講過嘅 course， 當你係一個真係好入門級嘅，你想學一啲基本嘅英文嘅話咧，就會幫到你。但係如果你本身其實都講得幾好咯，你都識文法嗰啲啦嘅話咧，咁其實阿 Matt 嘅意思就係話你睇多啲戲啊，或者接觸多啲英文啊，其實對你嘅幫助都會好大嘅。係啦。
And also, there's a lot of tools online that you can use to learn languages. So the most famous one is Duolingo. And Duolingo, you can pick what is your language and the language you want to learn. So you can learn English in Cantonese. But that's not very good for speaking. The one I've used for improving speaking if I'm not in the country itself, is one called italki, which I'm going to write that in the link. And italki, you go on there and they have thousands of teachers across the world. You can pick a professional grammar course or just chatting with someone, and the chatting ones are cheaper. And that's a good way to get used to hearing people speak if you're not in the country.
係咁頭先阿 Matt 就講咧，其實如果你未嚟到英國咧，但係你又好你嘅口語，即係講英文嘅oral 嘅話咧，咁其實咧就會有一個叫做 italki 嘅一個 app 或者一個網站啦，咁你就可以喺上邊咧揀唔同程度嘅英文課程，咁亦都係有一啲咧係會關於會話嘅，咁你可以同我對談嘅，咁佢就話咧其實都幾有用，咁大家就可以考慮下啦。
Okay, we got a few other questions while Ray is getting ready. So there's one that says there are some vacancies in some of the websites, but often need to specific qualification first. So is it the pattern we start to take a course before apply for the job? What do you think, Ray?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, a relevant course will certainly enhance your chances of being recruited. Yes, perhaps this is where Jeff perhaps could be helpful here with the courses that they offer. Yeah, so yes, I agree with that.
Yeah, Kate, do you want to translate that, and then we'll get, and then Jeff, can you get ready to come in?
好，咁頭先咧有阿 Ruby 嘅問題啦，就係話見到咧其實網上面都有一啲空缺，咁但係咧就發現咧佢係都有啲特定嘅資歷要求嘅，咁所以咧請問係咪我哋應該都係讀咗書先，跟住先去申請個工作咧？咁然之後咧阿 Ray 嘅回答咧就話咁其實呢一個都係一個好嘅發展方向嚟嘅，係啦，咁盡量咧令自己有更加多嘅資歷，咁令你嘅機會更加好啦。
Okay, is Jeff about?
He should be here any moment.
Right. Okay. There he is. So Jeff is from Birmingham City University. That's one of the 3 universities in Birmingham, in the city of Birmingham, and he's leading a particular project called the Early Years Career Pathway Project. I'm going to let him tell you all about it, but it's about supporting people get qualifications to work with young children. So, Jeff.
Hello, thank you very much for the invitation. I'm an employability advisor at Birmingham City University and a dedicated skills advisor for the early years careers pathways.
係啦，咁Jeff 咧自我介紹啦，佢就係咧喺呢一個嘅伯明翰嘅城市大學入邊咧，係專係做呢一個嘅改善就職能力嘅一個顧問嚟嘅。咁其實佢亦都係咧特別係專攻咧喺呢一個嘅早期嘅兒童教育嗰一方面嘅。
I'm just going to try and share screen. But it's not letting me at the moment. Would you be able to help me, Yusuf?
Yep. So when you hover over your yourself, obviously you've got the little.
It's coming up with a message that says too many video resources.
Oh, I wonder is it me? Perhaps. Shall I
no. Do you want to try it now?
Oh, there it is. It's working.
Thanks, Ray.
Okay.
Yep, there you go.
There we are. So, as you've heard from the National Careers Service, there are many different opportunities and pathways. So it's very important to speak to the Careers Service. But I'm talking particularly about one particular area of working with children called early years.
係啦，咁佢就話咧，其實喺呢個教育助理行頭咧，就有好多嘅選擇啦，有好多唔同類型嘅工種啦。咁所以咧，其實大家都係可以盡早去到即係諮詢嘅。咁但係咧，今日阿 Jeff 咧就想同我哋特別去講呢一啲幼童嘅教育啦。
And again, there are many different providers that offer opportunities, but my particular project is a partnership between Birmingham City University, Newman University, West Smethwick Enterprise And we've just brought on board Bernardo's, which is a leading children's charity.
係啦，咁佢哋咧就話有好多個機構都係會提供類似嘅諮詢啦。咁佢哋今次呢一個嘅項目咧，其實就係由伯明翰城市大學啦，跟住有另外一間大學，加埋係有一個非政府組織，再加埋最後咧，其實都係一個兒童工作嘅慈善團體，4個組織合辦嘅。
In particular, we're working in Birmingham, Solihull, the Wyre Forest, and some other West Midlands areas.
係啦，咁佢哋嘅工作範圍咧就包括伯明翰啦、蘇利豪啦，同埋同埋有啲其他嘅喺West Midlands 嘅地方啦。
And it offers a range of opportunities, which can include work experience, so that you can get some real life experience in schools, networking with professionals, as well as qualifications and help with employability and applications specifically to early years.
係啦，咁佢就話咧，佢哋呢一個嘅計劃咧，其實都會內裏包含好多嘢啦，包括係喺工作上面嘅一啲工作經驗嘅分享啦，係有啲同一啲現職嘅人士交流嘅機會啦，同埋一啲培訓嘅機會啦，甚至咧係一啲早年幼兒教育嗰方面嘅一啲資歷訓練嘅一啲資訊咁樣嘅。
As an assistant, as the careers service has explained, that can happen among many age groups, but here specifically, early years is for children up to 5, and they can include a number of different roles, which are on this screen.
係啦，咁佢哋話咧，幼童教育咧就係話係就包括0至5歲嘅小朋友啦。咁當中牽涉嘅一啲職位啊，或者需要嘅專業人士咧，就係喺熒光幕上面見到嘅呢一堆啦。
So early years practitioners, childminders and nannies, residential childcare workers, graduate practitioners, who are people who have got degrees, deputy managers, and people who are specialists in special educational needs and disability, nutrition and physical activity, safeguarding, and also early years leaders in schools, colleges and universities.
係啦，咁職位就包括啦，有一啲係幼童嘅教育嘅人員啦，第二個就係一啲其實係照顧兒童嘅人士啦，跟住然之後就係一啲喺居家嗰度照顧兒童嘅人啦，跟住然之後咧，如果你有大學學位嘅話咧，咁就係會係一啲叫做畢業之後嘅職位啦，咁然之後有管理層啦，或者助理管理層啦，然之後有啲特殊需要嘅幼童嘅教育啦，例如頭先講過嘅一啲SEND 啦，特殊兒童需要啦，甚至係一啲嗰個營養啊，同埋佢哋嘅體育能力啊方面啊，甚至係咧呢一個嘅幼童教育咧嘅領袖都係有嘅。
So how our project works is that you would be matched to a dedicated skills advisor, which is one of the roles that I do, and we would identify and address any skills needs that you had, and we'd develop a personalised development plan of learning, and we'd be able to support you throughout that process.
係啦，咁如果咧大家即係頭先講咗咁耐啦，如果你參加咗佢呢個計劃有咩好處咧？咁如果你參加咗嘅話咧，佢就會幫你配對咧一個專門係跟你呢一個個案嘅一個叫做你嘅資歷嘅顧問啦，咁佢就會咧係就住你個別嘅情況咧去幫你去即係去揾出你嘅資歷嘅需要或者你嘅能力、你嘅技術係去到咩程度啦，咁佢就會幫你咧去發展呢啲技術，同埋咧去補足嗰個資歷嘅。咁係咧喺呢個過程裏面咧，佢哋都係會一步一步去跟住大家嘅。
So I will share the link to the site there so that you can read more about the project.
係啦， 咁我share 咗一條嘅連結俾大家啦。咁關於呢一個頭先介紹嘅計劃嘅，咁大家就可以自己入去睇多少少啦。
We would help you to identify the skills needed to develop your career.
佢就會幫你咧去認清啦，去到辨別咧一啲你需要嘅技巧咧，去發展你嘅事業嘅。
Create a personalised action plan, and we would provide access to a wide range of webinars, of workshops, and support for your progression into early years employment.
咁佢哋就會咧為你度身訂造一個個人嘅行動計劃啦，就睇下你咧點樣可以補足你嘅資歷啦。咁佢又會提供咧一個好即係好多元化嘅一啲網上嘅講座啊，同埋啲工作坊咧，去幫助你咧去進入呢一個幼童教育嘅行頭嘅。
We would also help you to secure valuable placements, which means finding somewhere where you can gain experience and gain practical opportunities in an early years setting.
係啦，咁佢就話咧會幫大家咧去揾一啲好重要嘅實習機會啦，咁就令到大家咧係有一啲即係實際嘅經驗咧，令你可以進入呢個行業啦。
This is very important for some qualifications where you need to find a placement in a school or in a nursery to be able to undertake learning alongside your qualification.
Sorry, I just need to turn on the battery. So,
Okay.
Yep. 係啦，咁應該係大家可能頭先都聽到啦，因為我都聽到一半。係啦，咁咧其實咧就係話佢哋都會咧為大家提供咧一個連結嘅機會啦，可以俾你咧去認識更加多從事幼童教育嘅專業人士啦。
And with access to 2 universities, a training provider, a leading child's charity, and also placements in practical work settings, you get a really good network of people around you to be able to ask advice and to learn more about how to progress in that career.
係啦，因為咧佢哋有2間大學啦，同埋有咧唔同嘅非政府機構嘅網絡啦，所以咧呢個情況之下咧，你就會可以認識到好多業內嘅人士，咁你就可以咧問佢哋攞一啲專業嘅意見嘅。
The eligibility for this project, for example, is being over 18, having a right to work in the UK, and living in one of the areas that our project works in.
係啦，咁佢就話咧你嘅有咩資格咧？你如果要參加呢一個嘅話，咁你就係需要係18歲以上啦，你係需要喺英國係有呢一個工作嘅資格啦，同埋咧你就係住喺咧佢呢一個計劃嘅範圍嘅，就頭先講過啦，包括伯明翰啦、蘇利豪啦、同埋 Bromsgrove、Redditch 同埋 Wire Forest， 你要住喺呢啲地方嘅。
And it's important to say as well, as you've had a wonderful introduction from the National Careers Service, if this wasn't something that you were able to do, there are lots of opportunities all over the country that you can engage in. So there are many, many more opportunities, and the Careers Service can help with that too.
係啦，咁如果大家咧唔能夠參加呢一個咧，其實都有好多其他唔同嘅全國唔同嘅資源啦，大家都可以咧去留意去參加嘅。
So if you were interested, we have the form here to express an interest, and this is where you would put in your details. It would also have a little box here to explain how we would be able to help you. So that might be to find some voluntary work, it might be to explore courses, it might be to help update your CV specifically for early careers. Just tell us a little bit about what sort of help you would need, and also where you heard about us, which would be this webinar today.
係啦，咁啊，大家如果 click 咗入去咧，喺chat box 入邊有條 link 啦，咁如果你想參加嘅話咧，你直接喺呢一度咧提供你嘅資料咁就得㗎啦。咁尤其是咧喺中間嗰度咧，佢就問咗一個問題，就話啊，我哋個 program 可以點樣幫你咧？咁例如你係咪想要執下個 CV 啊？係咪想要知道更加多培訓嘅資訊啊？又或者係咪有啲咩嘅特別嘅問題想問咧？咁基本上咧，你就可以喺嗰度打，咁佢哋就知道可以點樣幫你啦。咁然之後最後嗰度咧，佢有一個位咧，就係可以填你係點樣得知有呢一個嘅項目嘅，咁你就可以話咧係透過今日咧呢一個網上講座咧去得知嘅。
And on this page, there's also the link to our current program of training, and I'll give you a little bit of an overview in this presentation. The workshops and courses come under, broadly speaking, categories of family learning, which is where young families engage in learning together.
係啦，咁啊就話咧，而家如果你參加咗呢個 program 咧，其實佢入邊咧都有幾個大範疇嘅機會啦，同埋嗰啲資源咧可以幫助大家嘅。咁第一個咧就係叫做家庭教育啦，咁就係話咧成個家庭點樣可以即係幫助啲小朋友咧去一齊去學習咁樣嘅。
Often this includes basic skills for parents and parenting skills, but is an opportunity for children to be able to learn with their parents in a community setting.
係啦，咁其實家庭教育咧就分兩方面啦。第一個咧就係即係教啲家長點樣去教導小朋友啦。咁另外一個咧其實都係咧親子一齊咧喺一個社區嘅環境裏面一齊學習咁樣嘅。
Our workshops also cover employability skills, and those would be your employability skills and an opportunity for you to really draw out all of the things that you would need to be able to find work.
係啦，咁啊，第二個範疇咧就係就職嘅能力啦。佢就希望咧改善大家嘅求職技巧啦，就令到你咧就真係比較容易去揾到工啦。
We'd be looking to draw out all of your prior experience, your motivations and your passion, but also help you with the formalities of job applications, writing CVs, interview skills, where to find work, all of those sorts of things.
係啦，咁啊包括咧有好多啦，就講會問翻你過去嘅所有經驗啦，其實你中意做嘅嘢啦，同埋你有啲咩嘅即係佢哋嘅志向啦。之外咧，其實佢哋都會有一啲好實際嘅喺你揾工嘅時候咧，你需要注意嘅一啲正式嘅事項啦，同埋點樣去揾工嘅途徑啊等等嘅嘢咧，都會包括咗嘅。
It would also include an introduction to working in the sector. And all of these workshops are tailored so that if you have very little experience, then it's designed to help you with that. But also if you've got some experience already, it's looking at reskilling and updating your skills to be able to work in the early years sector.
係啦，咁佢就話咧都會為介紹幼童教育呢一個嘅行頭啦。咁亦就如果你係咧之前係冇呢個行頭嘅經驗嘅話咧，咁佢就話非常之適合你嘅。咁如果你之前都有少少經驗喺呢個行頭咧，咁你都可以當係一個溫故知新啦，咁就可以 update 下你嘅理解咁樣啦。
And we also have opportunities for people to progress into management and also be reflective practitioners when they're working in the early years sector if they already have experience as being leaders.
係啦，咁佢就話咧都會有一個管理層嘅進深嘅一個類似培訓啦，同埋一個介紹啦。咁佢就話咧，如果你已經係一位管理層嘅話咧，咁佢都可以咧為你做一個即係一個又係一個更新啦，係啦，咁啊令你咧就更加係知道而家嘅趨勢係點樣啦。
And part of our project, one of the other projects at the university, offers some level 2 qualifications, which are quite substantial. Some of them have been mentioned earlier, but are very useful for improving your employability.
係啦，咁佢提供咧大量嘅唔同嘅課程啦，咁好多都係 level 2嘅，係即係屬於第2級嘅資歷嘅，咁就其實都係 有好多個範疇咧，都係可以幫到你咧去改善你嗰個求職嘅機會嘅。
They include team leading, so that's more management roles, but also mental health first aid, understanding autism, understanding behaviour and the challenges that might present in a early years setting. So children might have different behavioural issues, and also understanding specific learning difficulties.
係啦，咁佢哋咧嘅呢啲培訓嘅內容咧就多元化啦。第一個就係例如係有一啲管理嘅團隊嘅一個原則啦。第二就係包括一啲精神健康嘅急救啦。咁認識自閉症啦，認識一啲兒童嘅行為同埋佢嗰個帶嚟嘅挑戰啦，亦都係有咧理解佢哋學習嘅障礙等等嘅。
So on this section, they all go under these headings, and there are a range of different opportunities. In there, it describes the type of learning activity that there is, what level it is, the number of sessions that would take place, and whether it would be in person or taking place online as a webinar.
係啦，咁佢就話咧，呢一啲嘅課程咧就會喺頭先講過嗰五大嘅題目以下去即係去分類啦。咁然之後咧，每一個咧佢都會話咗俾你知，佢係屬於邊一個級別嘅資歷啦，需要上幾多堂啦，係咪實體上啊，定係可以網上去上咧咁樣嘅。
So I'll just move further down. This is focused primarily on parents and carers. So if you are a parent or carer yourself, you could also take part on that basis.
係啦，咁佢又見到咧，第一個 family learning 呢個咧，其實咧都係好關於呢個父母點樣去教育子女啦，同埋一啲照顧者咧，其實如果你哋就算唔係要做呢個行業咧，你就咁都可以參加嘅。
So these are some of the employability skills to help you apply for jobs, CV writing and writing cover letters.
係啦，咁佢呢度下面咧第二個題目咧就有關於改善大家嘅求職能力啦。咁於是咧佢哋就有點樣申請工作啦，點樣寫你嘅履歷啦，同埋點樣寫你嗰個cover letter 啦。
So there's a few different examples, some of which are about interviewing skills, building your confidence.
係啦，咁佢部分咧就係例如係改善你哋嘅面試嘅技巧啦，同埋咧去增加你嘅信心嘅。
And here is the section about working in the sector.
係啦，咁佢呢度咧就係
Sorry.
No, please carry on.
So one of the examples is an introduction to the early years and childcare sector, and it would be understanding what working in this sector entails, the qualifications you need, and the different career paths available. So quite similar to the National Career Service, but very specific on the early years. And it would just be a webinar, and it would be online.
係啦，咁佢喺呢個 section 入邊咧，其實都有啲係好入門嘅基本嘅介紹啦。例如頭先講嘅第一個咧，就係話同我哋今日呢一個嘅網上講座有啲類似嘅，不過佢就會專門講一啲幼童嘅教育，咁所以咧就係一個網上嘅講座嚟嘅，俾大家參加。
But here we have, oh sorry.
Jeff, yeah. Can I just stop a sec? Because this is really interesting. There's loads of information, but I'm just a bit aware of the time because we have 10 minutes left, and I think Ricky's arranged for people to go to breakout rooms afterwards.
I will end it there then.
And what I'd like to do is go through some of the questions. So if you could just finish up, but if anybody's interested, what we can do is get all that information out.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And thank you for inviting me.
好，咁啊，係啦，大家而家最後仲有10分鐘，咁所以咧就會睇睇大家仲有咩嘅應間係啦，過咗呢10分鐘之後，我哋會再分組嘅。不過而家就答一答問題先，係啦。
Okay, looking at the questions here, Kate, I've got one from Teresa Lowe in Cantonese. So do we want to start with that? Because I can't read it.
Is it the first one is actually Teresa, she was helping me with the translation because when I first heard the word dyslexia, and I didn't know the Chinese for that. So I actually she was just providing me with the translation.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's answered. The English of Hong Kong people have been formal. We've answered that.
Yes.
And we've talked about the vacancies and some of the websites. So it says here, I wonder whether the teaching assistant courses are free for Hong Kong people. I found a free TAA course, but it requires living in the UK for 3 years. Maybe Ray and maybe Jeff would know a bit about that. I know there are some restrictions on courses, not just about where how long you've lived in the UK, but where you live as well. Ray, Jeff, do you want to come in on that one?
Yes. I'd have to probably come back to you on that because, yes, it is often a requirement residency, or you might have to live in a certain postcode area, but it's something I'd need to investigate a bit more, I think. It depends how courses are funded, basically, as to whether you're eligible for them or not. So I think it's something I'll need to find out for you, if that's okay, and email Yusuf and Matt with an answer as soon as I can. Yeah, I don't know if Jeff's got anything to add to that.
Jeff?
No, nothing to add to that. I think there are different eligibilities for different courses.
Yes, there are.
So it's always wise to do your research and of course have a chat with the National Career Service as well about your specific needs.
頭先講到啦，咁就話喺唔同嘅課程咧，其實都有唔同嘅即係資格嘅要求啦，即係你可唔可以參加咧？其實個參加條件咧都係真係因人而異嘅，咁所以變咗大家真係要逐個去睇清楚。咁如果有唔明白或者有特別嘅問題咧，都可以去翻嗰個全國嘅求職支援服務嗰個中心嗰度去問翻嘅。
Thanks. I mean, the next question is another requirement is candidate is receiving social benefit. What I want to say, Kate, is that the problem we have in the UK is the system is very complicated because some courses are paid for by the government and some courses are paid for by certain cities, like in West Midlands Command Authority or Greater Manchester or Leeds. And the requirements are different all the time. So, yes, some courses you have to be receiving benefits. Some of it is for everybody. It's very complicated and you have to research.
係啦，我話咧，即係英國參加呢啲課程咧，其實都複雜嘅，因為嗰個資金嘅來源咧就唔同啦。咁唔同嘅機構俾嘅資金，例如係咪全國嘅資金咧，定係咪逐個城市咧，定係甚至係咪一啲非政府組織咧？咁每一個嘅資金來源唔同嘅話咧，都會造成嗰個即係參加嘅條件嘅唔一樣嘅。咁所以變咗就係比較複雜啦。
Okay, and the final question is, it says, for obtain DPS, enhanced DPS, it is a job searching barrier because sometimes the employer would like to employ people who have DBS already. So can we apply it in job searching stage? I'm not an expert. I mean, normally for UK citizens, it's very easy to get a DBS because you fill in the forms and it goes to the police. The problem is if you've moved from abroad. I don't know if Kate or Ricky know more about this. I know we've talked about it before with Tai Ching. So I can't give a clear answer on that.
Rick, do you want to say something on this? Rick, 你想唔想？你知唔知 DBS 嘅嘢
？DBS 一般就係嗰個僱主係會喺你即係你去申請份工嗰陣時，個僱主又要請你咧。佢就會同你去申請，理論上佢俾埋錢添嘅。咁呢個 DBS 嗰個審查咧，基本上係審查啲 BNO 嘅人士過到嚟英國之後嘅犯罪記錄，就同你以前喺香港嗰個犯罪記錄，或者係以前喺香港嗰個刑事嗰個記錄係冇關係嘅。咁呢位觀眾咧問嘅就係話，可唔可以喺唔經僱主嘅情況之下，提前自己同呢個英國嘅政府去申請呢個 DBS？ 咁我呢樣嘢就唔太清楚，咁唔知阿咩佢可唔可以答到？
係阿 Matt 其實佢都唔係好清楚，因為佢頭先講就係話英國人其實好容易攞嘅。據我嘅理解咧，其實我哋 DBS 呢樣嘢係可以自己走去申請嘅，即係其實你只係申請一個證明啫嘛，即係證明即係冇犯罪記錄嗰啲咁樣。我自己未申請嘅，但係我之前有聽過咧，係可以就咁申請，即係俾一啲錢，亦都唔係話太困難嘅。咁所以我覺得大家係可以去試下嘅，係啦。咁當然咧，如果再詳細啲嘅資料咧，我哋可能都要再揾一揾，係啦。
Okay, well, that's all the questions. So thank you very much with that. Before I sign off, what I want to say, though, is good luck to everybody in trying to find work. But if you do find work as a teaching assistant, remember that every worker in the UK has the right to join a union. And actually, most teaching assistants are in a trade union. The most popular unions to join are probably Unison, which is the biggest trade union in the UK, and that's for all public sector unions. But also the two big teaching unions, which is NEU and NASWAT, they are also accept teaching assistants, and of course, they are for teachers as well. So if you start as a teaching assistant and go up, they could be good. And the last major teaching assistant union, particularly for younger early years teachers, is Community, and they have an early years section for teaching assistants.
係啦，咁頭先阿 Man 咧就提到啦，如果大家咧想即係參加工會嘅話咧，咁佢就提咗幾個工會啦，就有關於即係其實工會都可以幫助大家喺揾工啊，甚至喺工作啊、勞工嘅權益方面咧係幫到大家嘅。咁啊 Unison 啦，全英國最大嘅工會啦，咁啊綜合工會嚟嘅。咁然之後咧就專係 for 老師或者呢啲教育助理、教育行業嘅咧，就有以下呢幾個啦 NEU 啦，跟住然之後最下面嗰一個 community 咧，就係專係俾一啲幼童教育嘅工作者咧去參加嘅，係啦。咁大家如果有興趣嘅話咧，都可以 mark 低佢，咁都可以參加嘅。
Yeah, and your union, I mean, I always say if you're not in a union, it's like driving a car without insurance. They're there to protect you. And so, it can be things like if you're bullied, obviously arguing for more money, but also they can do things like offer training, get you deals on, certain products, and just offer professional advice. It's somewhere to go for a bit of professional advice if you're not sure.
係啦，咁佢就話咧參加工會嘅好處啦，係啦，買下廣告啦，佢就係咁樣就係咧如果你參加工會咧，其實都唔淨止係好似平時嗰啲即係勞工行動先至要嘅，其實咧可以日常生活上面咧，如果你想要一啲專業嘅意見啊，你想要甚至係去買嘢有折扣啊，得到一啲比較用啲平啲嘅價錢去得到啲培訓啊等等嘅嘢咧，其實工會都幫到你嘅，咁所以變咗咧，你都可以去考慮下參加工會嘅好處咁樣咯。
Thank you.
同埋我都有少嘢補充。Sorry, Matt, I want to talk something. 工會方面咧，因為依家你知道好多英國工會咧就係同本地嘅一啲政治團體，特別係工黨咧有好強嘅政治聯繫嘅。所以咧，如果我哋喺入邊除咗可以揾到一啲就業嘅支援之外，其實喺如果我哋想透過一啲團體幫我哋發聲咧，我哋集合起上嚟咧，之後揾啲工會幫我哋手，其實都係一個好大嘅幫助嘅。呢個唔係純粹一個就業啊個支援嘅問題啦，我覺得。
Well, that's all I have to say. So what I want to do is thank, of course, Jeff for coming from Birmingham City University, Ray, as always, who's given us an informative, excellent, well-researched session, Yusuf, who we can't see but is here and he's kept the tech going, and then, of course, Ricky and Kate from the Hong Konger community. Thank you very much. And after Kate has translated, I think we can hand over to Ricky, who can tell people about the breakout groups and formally finish the session. Thank you.
Okay.
好簡單講下啦。
咁各位，
我冇講一講阿 Matt 頭先講，佢就多謝每一位，同埋多謝有大家睇唔到嘅 Yusuf 喺背後咧幫助我哋今日營運呢一個嘅webinar 嘅。
咁各位觀眾，咁我哋完咗呢個視像嘅會之後咧，咁我哋稍後會有個分組嘅時間嘅。咁我呢家有70幾人啦，我哋有2條 link，Group 1同埋 Group 2。咁我為咗唔令大家咧就集中喺其中一個 group 咧，咁如果你係出生嘅月份係單數就去 Group 1，出生嘅月數雙數你就去 Group 2。咁2 group 入邊咧都有依家現時喺英國做緊教育助理嘅人咧，會喺嗰個小組入邊咧分享，大家亦都可以問一啲問題啦。同埋我哋有一個TA 嘅一個 WhatsApp 嘅 group， 入邊咧有啲工作嘅分享啊，入邊啲職業嘅轉介啊、就業資訊嘅轉介呢啲嘢。如果大家有興趣將來過到嚟做呢一行，或者你而家喺英國想從事呢行又有啲嘢想特別想問咧，你可以入去我哋嘅 WhatsApp group 啦。同埋仲有一條 link 咧就係英倫故事，因為我哋之前咧呢個節目同依家喺英國做緊教育助理嘅人咧就係有一個錄製咗個節目咧，就講下呢度嘅工作嘅情況同埋入職嘅過程，同埋點樣轉為一個正式嘅老師，都有個比較簡單嘅分享入邊嘅。如果大家係有興趣嘅，可以去睇下啦。如果想入 group 嘅，咁喺我呢個show完咗之後咧，咁啊大家可以 keep 入條 link， 咁入去參加我哋嘅會議㗎。咁亦都多謝各位嘅講者嘉賓同埋 K 去為我哋主持呢個節目啦。
Great, thank you everyone. Thank you for joining. And thank you, Ray.
Thank you very much. Jeff, could I?
Thank you, everyone. Yes.
Jeff, could I get your email address at some point? Because I think we might.
I can send it you, Ray.
Thank you. I think I'd like to have a chat with you at some point soon, if that's okay. Because I think we could help you. I think so. Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. Great stuff. Take care, guys.
Great.
All right. All the best. Yeah. See ya.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Cheers.